Mario Kart World will be coming out in under 3 days now. We are super close to this game's release, and of course, with this being the last couple days until release, I want to sit and talk about my final wishes and final hopes for this game, and what I'm really expecting from this game, because let's face it, there's going to be super high expectations for this game. Not just because of the fact that the game is a launch title for Nintendo's brand new Nintendo Switch 2, and it's going to be compared to the likes of Breath of the Wild back in 2017, but not only that, it's the first Mario Kart game since Mario Kart 8, which was over 11 years now, which is insane to think about, but it's also a very ambitious title for Nintendo. With more power under their new Switch 2 hood, that means this game is going to look, run, and play a lot better, and not only that, it's an $80 video game, so they're going to need to justify that $80 price tag somehow. So I have a lot of worries and things that I really just hope is in this game before we actually get to it. But real quick, I posted my first video literally just 5 hours ago this morning, and already it's at 280 brand new subscribers. So thank you guys so much for your support. If you're really hype about Switch 2, let's see if we can keep the momentum going. And once again, leave a like and subscribe if you just want to keep up to date on all this Mario Kart World news and Switch 2 in general. But let's dive into my casual thoughts on what I really want to see from Mario Kart World and my last minute wishes. Like I said, this is a casual video where I just want to talk about what I want to see from Mario Kart World. So far, I'm actually in the higher spectrum from a lot of people. Like, I think a lot of people are kind of mixed on this game. A lot of people really are excited for it and think that the open world is awesome, and then there's the side that think that the open world looks a little empty and there's not a lot going on. So let me just kind of tell you where I fall and kind of give you a reason why I fall where I fall. But first and foremost, I really hope this game's open world is worth it. I really hope it's expansive as heck. I hope there's so many things to do and so many things to find. Nintendo keeps posting these binocular views and they show us like a giant landscape, and I'm like, man, this looks so much fun to drive around in, but I really hope Nintendo comes through on their designs of this open world. I hope it's not endless seas of sand and grass and water, and there's not a whole lot to do or look at. We know P-Switch missions are going to be littered throughout the world, but I kind of hope there's more than that. I hope there's little secrets and Easter eggs that we can find all over the map, and we can actually talk to each other about them, like stumbling across a weird cave or some weird building that you can drive into that's just secret, and maybe it doesn't home a P-Switch, but something else, more along the lines of, like I keep saying, an Easter egg, something that's just small and cool to find. I really want Nintendo to give me a reason to explore every nook and cranny outside of P-Switches, and that's just something I've been really hoping for. But since we're on the topic, P-Switches, I am still a little torn on this one. Some of them look quite good and a lot of fun, but then some of them just look incredibly boring. Like the one you're watching right now is probably the longest one we've seen, where normally the timer doesn't go past like 10 seconds, and that's like the highest one I've seen. Most of them are like 7 to 8 seconds. This one was like 20 seconds in order to reach the goal ring, but that's something that I've noticed with almost every single one of these, is the goal ring. Yep, that's pretty much the goal of every single mission, is reaching the goal rings or hitting the checkpoint rings in order to reach the next one. And I have a pretty good feeling that that's what every single P-Switch mission is going to be. Dodge all the obstacles and reach the goal ring. Now, we did see at least one blue coin mission, which seemed to be a lot different than just the rings, so I'm holding on hope there's some other themed missions outside of blue rings and blue coins. I've said this before, but there needs to be some sort of boss battle P-Switch missions like we had in the DS, or maybe some type of delivery missions where we have to deliver food to different NPCs around the town, or maybe play Uber and deliver NPCs to different locations in time. If they have to have a timer, those still work with the time limit. So I know Nintendo said that there's hundreds of P-Switch missions, but I hope there's not just like 50 of these type of missions. Like, this looks so incredibly boring. Luigi has to go through 2 rings in like 5 seconds. Like, this is so bad. I'm just hoping there's a lot more variety with some of these P-Switch missions that we just haven't seen yet, because I do feel like if Nintendo is showing off all these missions, there's certainly a lot that they have and that they want to keep secret then, right? At least that's what I'm thinking. Another hope that I have is I hope the tracks are very unique. Now, there's been some speculation that maybe every single track in the game has alternate routes and paths that you can take, or you can actually play every single track in the game in reverse, which leads to these alternate routes. Some tracks have alternate track routes. For instance, we've seen Crown City and even Peach Stadium have 2 different versions. So hopefully there's some variance to these tracks, really making them bigger than they are, and maybe even turning them into little POIs instead of just tracks, where you can race in different directions or in different track paths, kind of bringing back that Mario Kart Tour thing, where there's like alternate paths that would open up based on the lap that you were on. But yeah, I just hope that there's more to these 30 base tracks, because on paper, yes, 30 tracks sounds very short, but I am very happy that the fact that there's like over 118 different intermission tracks that we could possibly race on. So I think there's going to be tons of content that's going to keep us entertained. Here's kind of two things that I want to include, so I'll put them into like a combo pack here. I really hope that the tricks are worth using. Like, I hope there's a lot of instances and areas where the tricks are useful, and not just fun little things that you can do in the game if you want. Like, I hope they give actual real competitive advantage. I would love to see a huge meta of flipping and wall jumping and grinding and, you know, coming up with all these different moves and techniques in order to gain a lead up on your opponents. Along with that, I really hope there's more modes into this game. For instance, 200cc mode, which we haven't seen yet. We have a lot of straightaway intermission paths. I really want to race at a faster speed. I also hope battle mode gets increased with some new things that we can do, because battle mode is so bland in almost every Mario Kart game. I just never care about it, and this could have been the first game I do care about it, because you have this giant massive open world and they're not utilizing it. There's only 2 battle modes with balloon and coin. I mean, at the very least, couldn't they gave us a giant balloon battle where it's kind of like a mini battle royale, last one standing wins? Would have been perfect, right? Especially with something like an open world that they have in the game already. I'm just kind of let down by the battle mode, because this is finally my chance to dive into something that I never normally play, but it looks like it's just going to be another mode, once again, that I don't ever touch, which is just a shame, because I feel like there's so much potential with this game in battle mode. I do love the fact that there's a versus mode, and you can actually choose your own intermission track by connecting 2 tracks together, and I hope this is as crazy as it sounds. I hope any track can go to any other track, you know what I mean? Any 2 tracks can connect on this entire map, and you can create an intermission track between any 2. That would give you a world of endless possibilities. I mean, clearly not endless, but you know what I mean. Tons of possibilities. And I hope eventually we can actually turn this into a full tour, where we can pick more than 2 tracks to race in between. For instance, we can make our own tours. Imagine if we could pick 3, 4, 5, or even 6 different tracks to connect in any way that we want. That would be so much fun. If you want to have a super long 40-minute knockout tour, then you can. If you want to have a super short one going from one track to the other, or, you know, repeating tracks, you can do that as well. Like, just giving the player more customization like that, where once again they can just take full advantage of this open world and do whatever they want in it. I hope eventually they add some free roam modes, for instance, allowing us to play things like hide and seek or tag, or maybe King of the Hill, or just some type of games that we can play with friends. Maybe you can section off a small part of the open world and play these games, or just do something in the open world. Having all your buddies together online in an open world in one lobby sounds like a lot of fun, but there doesn't seem to be a big reason why you can do this besides waiting to ready up in order to jump into a Grand Prix or knockout tour. So I'm hoping that there's some secrets that Nintendo's hiding that we can actually do together online in free roam. I also really hope that there's more characters and costumes coming to this game outside of what we've seen so far. Yes, there's 50 characters, and there's a lot of unique ones for sure, to say the least, and yes, there's a lot of unique costumes as well, even though it's only for like the main cast of characters and none of the enemy characters. But still, I really do hope Nintendo has plans to have extra characters in this game, or maybe extra costumes that they just decided to not show, because it would be a pretty big bummer for them to show off every costume already and every character and every bike, you know, before we can actually get our hands on the game and find any of these ourselves. There'd be no surprise factor, and that would really be a bummer. So I'm hoping there's at least a couple of unlockable characters at the very least, and maybe some unlockable costumes as well, that they just haven't showed us yet. But time will tell. I'm just really hoping for some more surprises, and I think you can just group that into a big category of its own, surprises. I hope Nintendo didn't do one of those things where they showed us everything and, you know, they just wanted to get the marketing out there, and that was more important than surprises. I really hope that's not the case. Like, there's hardly any surprises left in this game. We've seen pretty much the majority, which I have a bad pit in my stomach that might be the truth. But we just gotta wait and see. This is an $80 game after all, and a launch title for Switch 2. So there has to be stuff that Nintendo's hiding, right? I mean, there's no way we've seen everything. I also hope online gets some type of like competitive mode, or some way to really track how good you are at this game outside of those little points that really don't matter since Mario Kart Wii. I mean, you can't really tell what they mean unless you're like really serious and calculating, you know, how many points you have compared to others. I mean, I really hope there's just like a proper Splatoon ranking system type of thing, where you can actually, you know, go higher or lower based on the ranking that you're in and based on how well you do. I know Mario Kart can be a lot of the times a lot of luck-based things that happens with the items and just just crazy things in the race, but there are some really good Mario Kart players. I went to a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tournament and found out the hard way. People be doing this thing for real, okay? So like I would love to get competitive and get really good at Mario Kart and have an official online mode for that. Also, we haven't seen anything with tournament mode, so hopefully there's something like that on online as well, because online so far looks pretty bare bones. So I'm holding out that there's some secrets with online that they just haven't showed us. And finally, I hope there's some really cool updates coming to the game in the future. I really would love to see either free or, yes, I know it's gonna freak people out when I say this, paid DLC. It probably won't be. There's no way they can get away with paid DLC, I wouldn't think, but it's Nintendo. Maybe they will. But either way, I would love to see updates to this game, keeping the game alive for years and years and years to come. Don't pull Mario Kart 8 Deluxe where you don't add all that DLC until like 5 years later. I know Mario Kart 8 had DLC, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe took it from 2017 all the way until like 2023 until it started adding, you know, DLC tracks. So hopefully Nintendo knows what they're doing. They have a path forward, and there's a lot of free content and fun things to look forward to that they add to this game, like modes, you know, characters, costumes, stuff like that. With just over 2 days left, what are your guys' final wishes and wants for Mario Kart World? What do you want this game to be like, and what are the things that you need this game to do to make you feel extremely satisfied and extremely happy? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya, guys.